pick in Talon. We'll see how it works. With the Shen, he can do a lot of risky plays and still get saved by Shen. So this is really going to be the game for Millenium to bounce back.
So here we go then, the Copenhagen Wolves versus Millenium. And as you rightly said, a pretty big game for Millenium. I mean, they are now tied with Alliance down on the bottom of the table. We heard in the video earlier that a strong or even a weak start can always be changed completely by the time you get to the other end of the split. But this looks like we could see a very interesting level 1 play.
Millenium has been doing pretty much disinvade every single game, actually. They want to try and do something level 1. They want to try maybe go in at 1/3 and get a D board on the red buff, or at least try and pick up a kill. We saw EG actually in the NA ping up 2 kills by doing this with Fresh.
Well, we'll have to see, because currently the Copenhagen Wolves are actually over on the complete other side of the map, which may mean that we get some early wards down and a retreat comes in from Millenium, or on the other side, we see some buffs being taken or possibly traded. Still so many questions to be asked, even just 1 minute and 20 seconds into this game. Millenium have now done a full victory lap of that red side of the Copenhagen Wolves jungle, and they're going to exit on the top side.
And Copenhagen Wolves actually pinged up in their top bush in the river because they thought Millenium could be there and try and go in for their blue buff. But Youngbuck went up, he kind of face-checked a little bit, but they weren't there. Instead, Millenium has actually pretty much gotten nothing out of this. They didn't ward anything, they just walked straight out, and that's it.
That's it, just a bit of a run around. And we say, that's it. But the Copenhagen Wolves are now actually making their move through into the Millenium jungle as well. A ward goes down there. Kevin actually waiting inside of the brush. And this is in full vision of Millenium. They know that this one's going on. The question is how Kevin can hold them away or not hold them away, as the case has been. Amazing he's able to take that red buff. Now it's the question of how fast Aranea can get down to the opposite side of the map.
Getting the red buff, though, from Copenhagen Wolves now for Aranea is not going to be an issue because the bot lane is there. They can go in and help him if something should happen. Renekton cannot move. Instead, though, Unlimited actually face-checking on Kevin.
Yeah, going straight in there. And Kevin actually doing a decent amount of damage. He takes a pilt over Peacemaker as well. And Aranea now is starting to head around on towards that red buff. And we see that Amazing on his side of the jungle going to be doing the blue. So it's going to be a bit of a simple trade coming out from this. But I want to touch on the lanes here, because we talked about how patch 4.1 has really changed how the turrets work and how we see these 2v1 lanes working out. How's it going to be affected in this match with this setup that we've got?
Well, Millenium can take down the bottom tower really fast. If they move down Aranea, try a dive, they can actually take down the turret and then maybe rotate for a dragon. Meanwhile, Copenhagen Wolves, they need a lot more time to take this top turret. You do 20 less damage per auto attack on the turret. That is a lot early game. So if Millenium decides to move Aranea down, it doesn't seem like it right now. He's actually just going to farm, which is a bit questionable. I think they should move him down, try the gank. Fresh is really good at diving as well. So a bit weird decision from Aranea here, but that works out for Copenhagen Wolves because they don't have to think about losing the dragon then.
Yeah, the Wolves here continue to hammer away on that turret. Creaton and Jerry going to be doing the same, and the hook comes out, and they see that Amazing has actually come down onto this bottom lane now, and that's going to be kind of forcing the hand of the Copenhagen Wolves if they don't want to lose this turret very early on. Shen, obviously, Kevin up on that top lane at level 3 right now, so he's not going to be feeling too much under pressure in terms of dying, but certainly it's his tower that he's trying to protect. As finally Millenium get down onto it, and we see again Amazing coming back to protect.
Amazing's there to protect. He knows the target. Oh, he's catching out.
Yeah, Aranea are actually coming around to this top side. Unlimited going to speed himself up. There's a great taunt coming down, and Unlimited is going to fall there. First blood coming in for Millenium. It's Aranea that gets that one, and I tell you what, with a red buff on, Forgiven might be in trouble as well. He did flash away from the stun, but he did get stunned up at the same time. Aranea finally does lose grasp with him, and that will be a 1-for-0. Good start for Millenium.
But Copenhagen will should always fight bot lane.
Yeah, Jerry's at half HP, and Amazing putting down a lot of damage onto him at this point. Not sure that he can finish that one off, and Amazing did back away. They both around at half HP from that one, as is the bot lane of Millenium. A very tense start to this game.
But Copenhagen Wolves must have known Aranea wasn't bot lane because they didn't see him at all. They were actually, the whole wave was at the tower, but no Aranea. So they must have known he was top lane at this point. Unlimited decides anyway to go in for very risky ward deep inside, and Aranea is there waiting for him and kills him. Bit of a misplay from him, I have to say that.
Well, the turret, funnily enough, in this 2v1 lane now pushed up against the duo lane on that bottom side. Forgiven and Unlimited back in their lane up in top now. We'll be feeling a little bit safer. Unlimited got himself the coin in, along with that door and shield. Pretty much exactly what we've been seeing from most supports.
Now look at the builds from Coulthard. He learned from the time he played versus Gambit, where he didn't build any armor versus the Kha'Zix. This time though, he goes straight for armor versus Curb, and he will not risk dying at level 6.
So Coulthard there did take a bit of burst, and once he gets that level 6 point, he's going to be a lot more mobile. It's going to allow him to move around the map. We talked about that from Curb's point of view, but right now you have to feel that Coulthard is the one that's going to be doing that maybe a little bit quicker here. We can see that Coulthard just sitting straight back on his tower.
Now, while Aranea did pick up the early kill, he didn't actually do anything to defend the turret, which means that Copenhagen Wolves has been able to poke it all the time, get it really, really low. Millenium, on the other hand, hasn't been able to poke the bot tower at all because of the taunt coming in.
Yep, Aranea actually coming up towards this top lane. Forgiven did get taunted. There's a stun coming down. He's got no flash. Is he going to fall? Actually managing to get pretty far away from them. There's the speed up. There's the spear coming in. The barrier was down as well. So very close, but no kill.
No kill coming in. And they pushed them away from the turret, though. This means Millenium right now can try and take down the bot turret. Lee Sin is far away. He's not there to help defending. They will maybe even be able to pick this up.
Yeah, is the chance for Millenium then. Already down to half HP, and you can see between Creatine and JRE, they're both auto-attacking that one out, doing a good job, as we are going to see Curb going in there on towards Coulthard. Both got those ultimates available, and it was kind of disengaged from both of the ultimate uses that we saw. Millenium keep up that pressure. Lee Sin still nowhere near in a defensive position.
And he's moving down the route. He will come in on Youngboy, though. They won't be able to pick up the kill, but they can at least try and force him back a little bit. The next wave coming in, if Amazing isn't there, they will take the turret. But at the same time, if you look at top lane, Kevin is recalling. If they manage to push it down, they can also take the tower top.
Well, Aranea is actually coming to join them down on this bottom lane. They should be able to see Lee Sin coming through if he heads through that tri-bush, which currently is warded up. But Aranea has already taken his position there. Curb just getting a pink ward into the top side of the river as well. So you have to feel with the positioning that we're seeing on the map here that we're going to see an attempt to defend by the Wolves and an attempt to push by Millenium.
Amazing is level 6, so they cannot dive this. I mean, he's too strong at this point. Level 5 on Aranea, he just backs off and leaves it at this. This does mean, though, that the top tower can actually go down.
Top tower, and if we look at it, it's very low. And funnily enough, we talked about how these 2v1 swaps are going to affect things, that the duo in the top lane were going to have a harder time to take it down, and in the end, it's the Wolves that get that.
But this is simply because of the way Aranea or Millenium has played with him this game. He went top rather late when they have already hit the turret a lot early game, and he didn't go into defense, he just went in for the kill as the only thing. This meant that Copenhagen Wolves could keep poking on the turret. Millenium, on the other hand, could barely poke the turret because of Amazing being there pretty much from the start, and he showed himself from the start to defend. So
with that first turret of the game down, let's have a look at some of the items here. We can see that Creatine actually just about ahead in the CS, 67 to 66. Not really been back to buy just yet. That single Doran's blade in there for him. On the other side, Caitlyn in with a pickaxe and a Vamp Scepter and boots at this stage. And Copenhagen Wolves can right now try and force Millenium's bot lane to stay so they won't go back and buy. This means they have a pickaxe and a Vamp Scepter over the Doran's blade. So they will be able to dominate the lane and push it down and therefore save their own turret. And it's actually a win for Copenhagen Wolves. Well, we can see that the recall's actually coming in from Creatine and JRE, and that may just cost them here somewhat. Certainly going to cost them some damage onto that tower as we see Coulthard coming back into this mid lane. He's going to have a couple of men to help him there, but that bottom tower is surely going to be the focus on this one. We can see that it's already taken a good chunk of damage, but not going to be able to put enough down to actually kill it off before Millenium's bot lane arrives again. No, generally what Copenhagen Wolves could have done was keep Renekton there and then go for the dragon if Millenium's bot lane recalled. But he didn't buy anything yet. He was like, he only had the Dawn Shield. You see ulti coming in. Yeah, there is the drop coming down, and Forgiven actually going to 90 caliber net into it, but it gets him further away from the hook, which is what he was aiming for. And that means that the Wolves stay alive on that bottom lane. Aranea has been very active towards his bottom lane from Copenhagen Wolves. He constantly ganks them, he uses everything he has on them, and it's very smart, because right now Curb is winning the mid lane by himself, and also Kevin is able to just farm and do whatever he does on Shen. So he puts all the focus on bot lane, and I like that move actually. Speaking of Curb and Coulthard, they just had themselves a bit of an exchange as Youngbuck diving in here on towards Kevin, and Amazing coming across the side. There's the ward down. Oh, great flash from Kevin though. Amazing flashed in front of him to actually try and kick him back in towards his teammate. Great reactions from Kevin though. Great from Kevin. They trade flash for flash. Sierra Near coming up right here.
Kerb can actually move up as well as he shoved out the lane. He decides to recall though, and wisely enough, Copenhagen Wolves also just backs off and leaves it at this.
Backing away from that one. That mid lane CS well in favor right now of Kerb as Millenium finally back into position to put more damage onto this turret that has managed to survive 10.5 minutes despite that 2v1 and the weaker tower, we can now safely say, in the bottom lane.
Yeah, but the important thing for me right here is that Creaton has picked up the BF sword. He had enough gold because he had to recall later than Forgiven had, so he could pick up the BF sword. And Copenhagen Wolves didn't punish them for recalling at all. So right now, really good point actually for Millenium, and they can pick up. Oh, can come in.
Oh, this could be bad. Creaton actually getting stunned up. They're going to go for J-Ree though. He's down to about half HP as the box comes in. But Creaton doing tons of damage over towards Unlimited. There's a good block of the AC in the hole from J-Ree. Kevin had come down to this bottom lane using Stan United to help them out. And again, another skirmish with no kills.
Very good defensive ultimate though from Kevin. Stopped everything going, and immediately as he ulted, Renekton moved from top lane down to mid to make sure that if Millenium wanted to go for a dragon, he was there to stop it.
Finally, we were talking about this during game number 2. That brush is a prime spot for pink wards that people seem to walk over or walk around a lot of the time, as RNA are going to get blasted here by Kautar. This is a 5-man Copenhagen Wolves push onto the dragon. The dragon actually resetting itself there, and that may just buy enough time for Millenium to, funnily enough, bring their support back into the mix here and have a 5 versus 5. It's Copenhagen Wolves that have backed straight away from it, though.
Yeah, Copenhagen Wolves didn't know where the rest of Millenium were. They saw 3 people on the map. They thought there were more, so they didn't decide to go for the dragon. They could maybe actually have forced it down as they were 5v3, but when you don't have any vision, you don't really know it, and it's a lot easier for us to say it from here.
That is definitely true. No way, obviously, that they could fully know that one. Actually, Kevin is still on that bottom side, so Millenium may be able to turn this one around. There are no I tell a lie, there's one just sneaking there in the back of the Dragon Pit. So the Wolves know that this is happening, but if you look at the minimap, there's nothing that they can do.
Nothing they can do. The turret goes down as well. Very smart call by Millenium. The Siri Renekton returns to the top lane. Kevin just stayed around, and he just instantly went in for the dragon to pick it up for free. Very nice play by Millenium.
Solid pickup today. 15, actually, it's more of a 20 CS lead for Kerb, if I can actually do any math, which, well, I can't. That's the problem, really. Having a nice little lead in that one. He's got that Brutalizer in there with a couple of Doran's blades as well. On the other side, we can see that Kautar picked up that Seeker's arm guard. He needs that armor at this point to survive.
He needs the armor, definitely. Otherwise, he has to pretty much jump out every time Kerb does something to him. He will have nothing to do in the lane. He won't even be able to pick up CS. So the smart first buy by him. I'm not sure if he's going to go straight into the Sonias with it, or if he's going to build more, you know, into maybe a Rod of Ages, or get more general normal items.
Here we see the drop coming in, actually, on top of the Pink Warden. Well, it wasn't much of a man drop, was it, in the end? He comes straight in there, and the Wolves just backing straight away from him. There we saw, as you said, Karma's help, speeding up her teammates to get away from that circle.
Aaron here just wanted to hit the Pink Ward once and then run out. That's the only reason he halted right there.
If only the man drop could kill wards, he would have succeeded on that front. Blue buff actually going to be given over to Kerb here on Talon. Actually has to come over the wall to finish that one off. His rake not quite doing enough damage. And as you mentioned before, as that dragon was done, the minions pushed down that turret there in the bottom lane. So actually we sit at 1-for-1 in terms of towers. There's a hook coming through from Jerry, which unfortunately for him doesn't connect. And we sit pretty much bang even on gold, as well as Kerb and Kautar again gonna get involved onto each other. Kautar here using that silence, which is the only thing that's giving him a brief respite from the damage that Kerb can do to him.
Yeah, I mean, Kerb obviously has the kill potential right here, but for him when it gets to team fights, due to the Karma shield and due to the safeguard from Lee Sin, he might actually not even be able to pick up anything, especially not right now when he doesn't have any kills at all, and he's actually not, you know, that strong at this point.
I just saw him waiting around the corner there, trying to bait Kautar a bit further up that lane so that he'd have a bit more time to work his magic. But as we saw before, he takes a silence, Kautar backs away, and they do a little bit of damage in the trade before that resets itself pretty much. And seems like that's going to be the continuing trend here for quite a while.
Now, Kautar is playing the lane really well though, but it's just a matter of time before Millenium wants to set something up with the Shen ultimate. They could potentially go in on Kautar in a bad trade and then Shen ultimate him and then win the whole trade and try and take down a turret. It doesn't seem like, oh wow, nice gank.
Yeah, that was a big flash in there from that one. Kautar going very, very low. He is ticking down, and it is Kerb that picks up the kill. That must have been very close to the last tick, if not the last tick of it, but that's what Millenium have been looking for quite a while now.
But that was such a good gank. First the stun coming in from Aranea, he has to flash for it, and then the silence coming in from Curb and the ignite, and they can pick up the kill. Nice play by Millenium.
However, the Wolves starting to gather up a little bit here in that mid lane. Millenium coming in from the backside. There's a pink ward there that actually Jerry will walk over the top of, and he's left himself in a little bit of no man's land for this one. Amazing going to come in around the side, will land the Q onto him. There's a flash in front to kick him back. Jerry here going to get hit by the ace in the hole all the way from the backside there by Forgiven. That will be his first kill, but honestly you have to say that Jerry was just completely in no man's land there.
He was completely out of position, and Copenhagen Wolves instantly punish it. They want to try now and take down the mid turret for this. I'm not sure if they can actually, because Kevin has ultimate.
Kevin has ultimate, Aranea has his ultimate as well to drop in on top of them, but they've got all 5 men. There is the drop coming in from Aranea, the turret actually going very low. Looks like they might try and stay and finish this one off. Aranea actually going to fall there, the turret does go down. Forgiven going to be focused on, but he's managed to back away. Ignite finishes him off, and now it's 4 versus 2. Not super healthy, but with Coutard able to chase down here, they might be able to do it. Creaton actually flashing in there very aggressively. He actually picks up his barrier. There is the lantern as well, and that was a crazy exchange in mid that leaves us at 2 for 2, and the tower went down.
Such a crazy fight. They were actually tanking the turret, Copenhagen Wolves, when it started, and Youngbuck took it down during the fight, and still they went 2 for 2. We saw, look at the man drop coming in right here. The tower is still up, and Youngbuck keeps hitting it. Focus on Amazing is a bit weird for Aranea. He should have jumped on Forgiven together with Curb, and also the taunt from Kevin should have been on Forgiven. They expected Curb to be able to take down Forgiven alone, but due to the shields, due to the barrier, and due to safeguard, he actually only managed to pick him up in the end and die for it. If everyone had jumped Forgiven instantly, I think they would have won the fight a lot easier.
Look at this. This is a good moment where Creaton actually flashes in to finish off Youngbuck, which obviously left him a little bit out of position there, but still had barrier calculated, and there's a lantern as well from Jerry in the nick of time to bring him out.
Creaton simply knew how much damage he had and how much damage he could take at this point. Smart play by him. He did have to flash for it, yes, but at the same time he picks up a much needed kill.
Now, what is the next move in this one? Dragon comes up in less than a minute's time. Last time around was this weird positional play where the Wolves went in there and then backed away because they didn't know where Millenium were, and then they recalled, and Millenium basically took that Dragon for free afterwards, which, you know, they should have the timing on it. They did have a ward in the back there, so they're expecting half a minute's time that they're going to start stacking up again.
I think we're definitely going to see a 5v5 fight. Who's going to win it right now? They're so even. They're very even in gold. The team fights, or the team fight combos at this point are very even. It's just pretty much going to be a matter of who can burst down the first target.
Oh, and speaking of burst, Creaton down to half HP there without realizing what hit him, I think. I don't think he expected quite so much damage to come his way, but with all those men down there, Youngbuck actually diving in aggressive. This is a 4v1 until the rest of the team finally get involved, but Youngbuck is going to fall before anything really happens. Kevin has come down as well. Now the chase goes on towards Unlimited. Kevin's taunt's going to be up here in just a second. Lands it perfectly to pick up the double kill as well, and that sets up Millenium now in a 5v3 for Dragon.
Youngbuck was way too greedy right here. He wanted to go in and try and stall the whole Dragon. He got too close, he got picked up by Millenium, and they take an easy kill on him, then on Unlimited, and now they can actually pick up a free Dragon.
And Amazing's Q not quite having the range there to hit either the Dragon or someone inside of the Dragon Pit. Obviously, may have tried for the steal there if that would have been the case, but it wasn't. Millenium pick it up, and they have now a 400 gold lead. Very slim lead at this point.
Look at the build on Curb. Full armor penetration. He will be able to do a lot of damage on just Youngbuck or Amazing. So if one of them overextends, a bit like we saw just before, they can instantly focus down this target and maybe kill him.
This is a bit of an ambush squad set up by the Copenhagen Wolves, and Aranea is just going to walk straight into this one. It's a lot of damage, but Stan United actually used. There's the kickback, but the hook landing on towards Amazing. They're going straight in. This is now a 4v1 because Coutard has left. Millenium pick up a kill for free.
Such a great hook by Jerry right here. He predicts the safeguard into the ward, and he just, boom, fires the hooks, lands, take another kill. Copenhagen Wolves is trying to make plays across the map, but Millenium is just responding every time.
shutting them down so far. And Millenium got a busy schedule this week. Demon mentioned it earlier that they're off to Brazil for the Intel Extreme Masters, and the fact is that they need wins at this point of the season now. They said that it's all about how you finish and not how you start, but this could leave them 1 for 5 if they lose this game and 1 for 6 by the end of the weekend. And this game right here, they're probably factoring in as a win when they look at their grand scheme of things. Right now, they're all set up outside of that middle turret, which is at less than half HP.
This is a big issue for Copenhagen Wolves though, because the laning phase ended earlier than they wanted it to. Look at Kassadin's items. He has no damage right now. He needs at least 10-15 minutes of farming before he really becomes the strong Kassadin we know. So right now, if Millenium keeps forcing things, they can actually just pretty much shut down him completely.
Wolves actually going for a bit of a look on the red buff. That's already gone though. RNA having that one away with his smite before the Wolves could get in there and do anything about it. They're trying to keep this mid lane pushed up at least past that halfway point. And we talked about Kassadin. One thing that we didn't really touch on is the fact that Coutard is running teleport at this point, which means that he can head off into those side lanes and push and farm a little bit more.
He can go into the side lanes, but it's very risky versus this combo. There's both the Shen teleport coming in, there's also the man drop from Aranea. You never know where he is in his own jungle, and even though you have your jump with Kassadin, it might not be enough to actually escape a 2-man gang squad. Especially not right now when he's actually kind of squishy.
Rod of Ages in there for him. Maybe Seeker's arm guard on top. Both Youngbok and Kevin have those Sunfire capes done. And unsurprisingly, Kevin headed up towards that Spirit Visage, as I'm sure Youngbok will be at some point in the near future as well. Meanwhile, Forgiven here being given that red buff. He's already got his Bloodthirster and that Last Whisper.
Now, the game plan for Millenium must be to try and catch out Coutard or Forgiven if they're pushing in different lanes. They don't really have a siege combo. You can't do pretty much any sieging with both Shen and with your Talon. So they need to catch someone out, but they also need to do it because the longer this game will go, the stronger Copenhagen Wolves will be.
I just thought the fact that Kevin was in mid lane all on his own. He got kind of sandwiched from both sides, but not taking too much damage at this stage of things. And we said in the pre-game, he loves these pure tanks. This Shen, perfect for him. He's been landing a lot of taunts in the last 2 games that we've seen him playing on that one. But just one missed taunt, I suppose, can cost you the game in the end, as we are going to see a hook landing onto a minion. Not the ideal target, but as I said before, that turret pretty low there. Kevin nicely blocking the ace in the hole.
Yeah, Millenium decides to actually just try and brute force down this turret because it is so low. They have Aranea ready. He can jump in at any moment. But right now, Coutard has his TP, and they know this, so they're a bit scared.
Oh, they managed to hook in amazing, but he didn't take enough damage for them to think about going straight on top of it. And actually, Aranea, who we saw him waiting pretty much where Kerp is stood right now on the map, that's obviously so he can just drop straight in there. He went in to join the team, ended up dying, but look at this. Coutard pushing that lane out.
Yeah, this is a giant issue for Millenium. They can't siege. They want to try and take down this turret. We see Mandrop coming in the mid lane, do we?
Yes, we do. There it is, and it's Aranea right on top of them. The hook not actually landing in there, but Unlimited being hammered away on by Kerp. This is surely a dead man, and it will be. But can they get on towards the backside? Forgiven is hammering away on them right now. They need to deal with him. There was a rake coming in, but Jerry's going to fall. I feel Aranea is going to suffer the same consequences here as well. Somehow getting towards the back there. But look at Forgiven. He's still alive, actually. And that will be an ace for the Copenhagen Wolves. An absolute mess of a fight.
Fantastic team fight though from Copenhagen Wolves. Coutard teleports in behind and he does instantly goes on Creaton. At the same time, Kerp goes for Unlimited. The support shuts him down. That doesn't really do anything for Copenhagen Wolves at this point. So the fact that Coutard can come in untouched from behind and just start cleaning up is amazing.
Yeah, we can see in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen there, slight replay of the man drop going in. There we go, full screen gloriness.
And notice Kerb right here, he's full focus on Unlimited. He even uses ultimate while Coutard comes in from the back. At this point though, ultimate is gone from Kerb. His damage is pretty much gone right now. Forgiven can actually 1v1 him down here in the bottom lane. And meanwhile, Kassadin is just doing whatever he wants and whatever Kassadin does best.
Mopping up the fight from that one. And an ace coming in. And if you look at the minimap right now, pretty sure the inhibitor actually did go down. In that one, yes, it did. A ward was dropped straight on top of where it used to be. So just like that, a game which was very much back and forth and tense. Are we going to fight action in the mid lane? It's an ace for the Copenhagen Wolves, and all of a sudden that inhibitor's gone.
But this is what we talked about before the game. Millenium's team fights are not good enough. This was a perfect example. They were ahead, they had the better combo at the moment, but when you put all your focus on the support, yes, you do manage to kill him, but what are you going to do about the rest? generally not good enough teamfight by Millenium.
They're going to need to step that up, which obviously after being ace is now even harder. As Coutard here may just get himself caught out. There's the dive on towards him, and he's going to rift walk away, but the slow already down. There's the Lantern to help out. He's used the Zhonya's, but I don't think that's going to save him. Or will it? Rift walk at the very second he comes out of it will get him off to safety. Kriaton actually catching the ace in the hole. Dragon, of course, is up. There are 4 men there for Millenium. We see actually Shen is recalling. He's got his ulti, and the red team will be picking up the Dragon Millenium, of course.
Good decision though by Copenhagen Wolves to not try and fight for this. Cuddles were back. Are they actually chasing this one?
I'm not sure about that one. RNA, you know, he's not incredibly tanky. Amazing could probably just finish him off from this one. He's going to get caught out completely at that point. Finished off, and Amazing's not done here. He's going to try and get onto J-Ree. He's got the slowdown onto him. The slow coming in from Karma as well, and will they be able to finish it off? No, they won't, but they've pushed them straight back into their base once again, and the Wolves can now back off with freedom.
I'm one big question mark right now. There was ultimate on Kevin. There were 5 people around. They did nothing to try and help him, and 4 people of Copenhagen Wolves with the recall Kassadin could just do whatever they want and pick up a free kill. Millenium right now is falling apart. It was a good attempt down bot lane though. They did land a silence on the Kassadin trying to kill him, but due to the Zhonya's and the fact he's... actually kept going in.
Yeah, he's right in the middle of them all, and he's not as invisible as he thinks there. Coutard will be picking up that kill, and that's a lot of damage now gone down. This turret is just going to be left for the Wolves as Millenium lose another one here, this time in the top lane, and I'm not sure that the Wolves are ready to stop this one.
It seems like Millenium is just trying to do solo plays. You just want to... Someone has to step up and try and carry this game. They don't have any coordination. Again, they had Shen ultimate. They didn't use it for anything. Maybe they are slightly giving up.
Yeah, it certainly looked like it. I mean, RNA are caught in the jungle there. I want to touch on his build for a second because you can see he's pretty much all damage at this point. They're obviously relying on Shen to be the tanky one, but we can see that's not really working out for them.
I mean, the idea behind this build is that him and Kerb will jump in on the same target and instant burst it down, but they haven't been doing that in teamfighting except for the one on Unlimited.
And look at this, they're on the tower right now, the Copenhagen Wolves. They take on a lot of damage, and actually Youngbuck will go down after picking up that turret, but there is the talisman actually going to be used, and they will just recall to safety. I mean, they got the turret, they've lost 1 man, but generally that's a good trade-off.
It's a fine trade-off for Copenhagen Wolves. They have an open inhib now. They can go up, force a 5v5, and just try and take the inhib afterwards. Or they can simply just try and go for the Baron and then finish the game afterwards.
Funny thing, and the Nexus turrets are already taking a bit of damage there as well from those super minions starting to stream into things. And it's funny, I mean, Millenium, we said it before, their whole team fighting combo has not really worked out for them in many games so far in the LCS. And to have such a very much cut and dry, I guess we can call it here. The fact that you have to land the perfect drop from the sky out of RNA, you have to land a good taunt, and you're stand united on the right person from Kevin. That's really not helping them this time around when they can't do that.
No, you're definitely right. I mean, Millenium has a very coordinated combo here.
Yeah.
They need to go on the same targets. They need to everyone move in at the same time. Copenhagen Wolves, on the other hand, just has a very loose combo. They can do pretty much what they want. They don't have to like single target down a target because they have so much sustained damage, and Renekton can tank so much damage as well, together with Amazing. But Millenium, it's a team without too much team-fight coordination, playing a very coordination-heavy combo. It is probably one of the reasons they lose.
And the fact is, if your head starts to drop, your coordination just becomes worse. Just a matter of fact, that one. And their backs are certainly against the walls this time around. They're 4,000 gold behind, 7-1 in turrets. A big, big difference on that front. Of course, 2 of them and 3 of them really coming from the back of that last ace. And that's not going to be the last one either, as Youngbuck just dives in there, throws down a ward, and gets himself back out. Coutard, in the meantime, pushing down onto this bottom lane.
Yeah. You see Kerb actually going on Coutard. Can he try and pick up a kill?
Yeah, the thing is, Kerb's down to less than half health with that one. Obviously, we did see the ace in the hole come in. The Q from Amazing just flashing by there. And this turret now less than half HP. Can they finish it off with this wave? Amazing actually tanking it up. They've got Youngbuck to tank it. The next wave of minions actually is headed up there right now as well. Looks like they may even try and get in on towards Aranea. He's down to less than half HP. Takes the Lantern, though, back to safety.
They did get the Shen ultimate popped, and they still teleport on Coutard. They will just keep doing this, or they won't go for the Baron. And if Millenium comes out to try and stop them, they'll be more than happy to fight. Shen has no ultimate, and at the same time, Aranea is very squishy, and every time he jumps in, they can just kill him.
No turrets left outside of the base of Millenium. That's 8 down for the Copenhagen Wolves. 5,000 gold lead. We see a couple of men just going to be recalling in from this one. You talked about Coutard, how the laning phase maybe ended a little bit too early for him, but if you look down his items now, the Zhonya's in there, that Rod of Ages had its time to get going, another Blasting Wand as well. He's slowly but surely getting into a position where you just don't want to face him.
Exactly. I mean, Millenium had the perfect point of the game where they actually were team fighting in mid lane, but due to a very bad team fight, Counter got in. Even though he didn't have too much damage, they still managed to win it. And Youngbuck actually face checking.
Yeah, he is literally on his own right now, going in towards Creator and popping his ultimate. The rest of his team finally getting in behind him, and I tell you what, Millenium needs to react to this one quickly. That inhibitor did just respawn, but the entire Copenhagen Wolves team have come up. We're going to see Kurt maybe coming in from the backside. A hook lands, but it lands onto Youngbuck. Here comes the man drop, but who will it hit? Youngbuck, I think, is the only one really affected by that one. Kurt has dove on towards Forgiven, but he will be picked off in the end by Coutard, and now surely just a matter of time. Unlimited falls low. That's a good hook on towards Forgiven at the back, but he manages to stay alive for so ridiculously long. Coutard using that Zhonya's, and funnily enough, Millenium slowly but surely coming out on top in that fight. We can see that Kritz's chasing them down, but needs to be careful from this one. I don't think that he's going to get amazing, but Unlimited may be a different story. The speed boost coming in. Kritzen might be able to dash out there and have a go in just a second, but the chase won't be enough for him in the end. Another messy fight, I'd say.
Two things we can take from this. Millenium has no coordination together with Kerb. Kerb once again jumps on Forgiven. Nobody follows. There's no Shen following in for the taunt. Oh, amazing. He's trying to steal.
Aaron here actually got that one in the end. Amazing, though. Able to just safeguard out to the ward on the backside.
But back to the fight. Nobody follows Kerb on Forgiven, so Kerb actually dies because Copenhagen was just backs out immediately. We're going to see it right here. Notice Kerb down in the bottom of your screen. He flashes over, jumps. Nobody follows him. There's no Shen, no Pantheon. But due to Youngbuck having no ultimate, he dies really fast in this, and then Creaton can actually come in and join the fight now and start doing damage to everyone. So due to Youngbuck no ultimate, he wasted it a little bit on Creaton earlier. They actually lose this fight, otherwise they would have won it fairly simple.
It was a good, I think, 3 men knocked up by the kick of Amazing there, but he's obviously not really got the damage to be following up on the likes of Kevin, that's for sure, who's got low in that one. So a bit of a respite here, I think, for Millenium now after winning that little team fight. We'll see exactly how much time it gives them, and more importantly, what they can actually do with that time now after that fight.
They're obviously just going to try and farm a bit more. We see the Randuin's almost being complete on Aranea. Once he has that, he can actually start tanking a little bit. But until, like, right now, he's basically just jumps in, do some damage, and then die. That's like the whole idea of him right now until he finishes some more items. Copenhagen Wolves now, they want this Baron.
Baron Pit has been cleared out from their side of things. There's, I think, a pink ward sat at the front of it from the Copenhagen Wolves team, and Millenium trying to get one over the side of things. You see the pings coming down there from the Wolves as they instruct Unlimited or Youngbuck to go back there and start clearing those out. Millenium, in the meantime, just making sure that these super minion waves aren't going to be pushing too far up into their base.
So, if we look a little bit on general AD carry items, Creaton actually is only one. I mean, not only one, I was about to say, I just noticed the pickaxe. So, Forgiven is going to complete his Infinity Edge very soon. Creaton, pretty far away. Next team fight, if there's an Infinity Edge on Forgiven, Kerb is going to die even faster. And then the rest of the team is going to die afterwards. Unless they manage to pile up and actually kill Forgiven instantly.
Which they've taken their time on in that last fight. They did kill him, but the fight before that, he actually got away as the ace in the hole comes through. No one blocking that one. Kevin just needed to sidestep and get in there. And Gritton going incredibly low. Kerp actually going with his ultimate in the rest of the team. Kevin gonna get caught out. We'll see exactly how tanky he is in this one. As Youngbuck gets in there to the front. All the damage piling now onto Aranea at the back. He's gonna be falling. That's 3 kills straight away. This surely is gonna be game for the Copenhagen Wolves. Coutard dives onto Kerp. That's an easy kill, blown to pieces. And now only Jay Reese stands between the Wolves and a victory.
The only thing Millenium did this fight was run away. The Copenhagen Wolves catched them out. Great engage actually coming in from both Coutard and also the ulti from Forgiven, hitting Creatons. He was so low, he couldn't stay on fight. This one is going to be the win for Copenhagen Wolves.
Solid victory there for the Copenhagen Wolves, and Millenium's run, it continues here. Now 1 for 5.